On a sophomore release, obviously we had all the sophomore jitters, and this kind of takes it away. I'm the proud big sister today, of course, because this is Reed Neal's first #1 that they've had a hand in pinning. So it's a big, big celebration today, both for them and for Pioneer.
Well, our shows have become even more of a therapy session for us and our fans because, Benedict too, it's got some oomph, but done. People love doing the on done.
It is therapy, try it.
Yeah.
I'm curious about plans for your world tour next year. What kind of things do y'all have in the works? Have y'all started looking at set ideas?
We have. We actually got our first designs about a couple of weeks ago. So we're getting several in, going to kind of see which one really works for us and put it all together. But we actually will start in November in Europe. So we're going to get things started over there and then come back to North America.
And we're spending all of our sound checks working out the set list already because, it's quite a chemistry, the set list. So it's fun to just talk about different mashups and ways of doing medleys of different tracks off of Pioneer. So it's exciting.
Can you tell us what sort of tricks you have up your sleeve as far as like the set design? Anything new you're trying to?
No.
Yeah. Come on. We're still kind of in the early phases of
Well,
that.
I will tell you this, we are forcing our mother to get her pyrotechnic license officially, so there might be some fireworks. And, on the Canadian leg, Lindsay L. and Easton Corbin are coming out with us, and those guys are both really great guitar players.
Yeah.
So, we're thinking about doing the traditional mesh as a band, all 3 acts together, but maybe making it more instrumental, which might be fun.
You guys have spent a lot of time in Europe playing for folks over there, which in a way is a risk at first, but it seems to have paid off. Can you talk about the connection you have with the people in Europe?
Yes.
It's amazing getting to go over and play shows in Europe. That's one of the things, I think if you asked us 15 years ago if we thought would ever happen, $20 we would say no. But the great thing about European fans is they learn every single word to every song. Even if they don't speak English, they still know the words, which I guess, yes, but the great thing about European fans is they do learn every single word to every song, even if they don't speak English, and I guess that does prove that music is the universal language.
But we are going to places we've never been before, like we're Paris, we're going to some places in Switzerland and Germany, so it'll be nice to put boots on the ground there.
But they don't laugh at my jokes, and I'm going to blame that on the language barrier.
No, it's your jokes.
Sending postcards
In Paris, which we're really excited about. Well, that and, get a dozen macaroons. That's really what I'm most excited to go over to Europe for.
Since we're celebrating this particular song, could you talk a little bit about the writing of it and how it evolved and maybe how it started? Did you start with that title or did you work your way up to that?
Yeah, well, it was a title that we came in with, and we actually wrote it in one session. And so we literally 4 hours pounded it out, and it's what we ended up with. But it was the last song we did right for Pioneer, and it actually is the first song we played live, so there's a bit of an oxymoron there.
And the cool thing is we met John and Jacob actually in Europe. They opened several of our shows for us while we were over there, and we got to hear their set, and it sounded like a full band coming from these 2 guys. They had horns, they had kick drums, hi-hats, and everything. And so when we got back, we decided to get in the room with them, and that's what came out. Done.
But just to clear up any confusion, even though I did not write on Done, I was not the inspiration.
No.
That's what we tell her.
We tell her not everything's about you.
But it was cool. I remember hearing Neil work on the mandolin riff for a while, so it sort of began there musically. And, I got to be the first one to hear it. I immediately fell in love with it, so good job.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You guys have had the opportunity to open for a lot of really amazing artists. What kind of things have you learned and from who? What little nuggets are you pulling from people to as you build into the headliners and stuff?
I think that we've learned a lot watching our heroes on stage, but I think it's really what we've learned the most about the backstage area that's important. Be it, I remember Tim McGraw was so present backstage, and he really taught us a lot about not only running like a classy tour, but we'd always been a fan of Tim McGraw, the artist. We became a fan of him as a human being and as a person. Brad Paisley, who we spent all last year with, it was like summer camp all the time. He really was big on keeping tour morale high, and so in every town he would find a different little party for after the show. And
after one show, he brought in a petting zoo.
He did. He did.
It was
like
amazing.
A horse
Miniature horses,
cow.
goats.
So they each had their way of making everybody feel welcome on tour and really keeping the backstage, fun. It's important when you're doing 50 dates out on the road. So I think we learned a lot from that for sure.
Kind of an odd question, but there's a lot of talk going on today about the BMA Awards and how kind of beyond pushing the envelope they went. Can you talk about being able to be part of a format like country music that is actually very family friendly and being family in this family oriented, and it isn't so shocking that everybody, even adults, feel the need to turn off the television?
Exactly. Well, you know, the country format is a family among ourselves, all in this room, but I also know that at our shows and at all the country shows I've been to, families come out to them. Our favorite thing is when we're at a meet and greet and we see a kid and her mother and the grandmother, like 3 generations. And I think country music is more about sharing it with each other as friends and family.
Real life.
And it just makes our format so special. And yeah, it is about real life. It feels very like blue collar and normal. It's applicable. It means something, and it's not all about the bells and whistles. And there's certainly a place for that, and pop music does that, the best of the best, if that's what you're in the market for. But for country, it's true blue, and we're just really proud to be part of it.
Your stand-up is just absolutely amazing, but I wanted to ask you to talk a little bit about working with Rick Rubin and what you learned from him.
Yeah, you know, Rick Rubin was, you know, such a pinnacle piece of this project, especially early on when we were writing a lot of the songs for it. We actually took an actual road trip out to Malibu. We wrote Pioneer in the hills of Santa Fe, New Mexico on the way there. So we got there and we were just writing all these songs in his studio in front of him. And he taught us a lot, not only about songwriting, but just honestly about the second album making process in general. He gave us a lot of confidence going into it that someone like Rick Rubin would take a liking to the 3 of us.
Well, yeah, we absolutely had to have that, and we made a lot of tweaks on the songs there at his studio. It was pretty much written before we brought it home to Nashville, but did so because Dan Huff is about macro production. Rick in this current incarnation is about micro, and we knew for the second album phase with the types of sheds that we're playing gratefully these days that we needed big sound, so Dan was the man for that.
You guys have had really big sounds on the first 2 singles from this album, but the next one is a little more muted. Tell me about this next single.
But we couldn't be all spit. We had to be a little bit, you know, show
All
the
those romantics.
vulnerability side of what we do, and that's what I'm so proud of on this album as a whole, is that we definitely have that sense of being the underdog, of, you know, snapping our fingers, but also we really wore our hearts on our sleeve more than ever before. Don't Let Me Be Lonely has one of my favorite melodies on the whole project. It sounds big, but the lyrics are so small in the sense that they're so personal and so vulnerable, and it's already a major moment live. So I'm really excited as it gets up and running on radio to see how that's going to translate to.